Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I'm trying to get my charge cable to work. I know, it's just not charging for some reason. This could be very bad. I think I have enough I think I have enough life in the phone right now to be able to tell a story. Should we say hi to everybody? Say hi to everybody. Hi. So Rootbear, how have you been doing? Yeah, I know. It's been trying. We've had snow the last couple of days. It's just been cold and gray. The sun came out a little bit, but what? What are you saying to me? Are we there yet? What do you mean What do you mean are we there yet? Are we where yet? We're here. We've been here for a month. What do you mean are we there yet? Are we there yet? Where? Are we where? There? I don't know what you mean. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Okay, well, yes, we're there. Oh, you're saying that for me? Why are you saying that for me? What? Because we can't go anyplace? And you thought I missed you saying that? So you thought you'd just say it to make me happy and think that we're going someplace? That's nice, Rootbear, of you to think of saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Yep, we're there. We're there. Anyway, today I'm going to tell you another story that my grandpa told me when I was a little girl. He says, are we there yet? Rootbear, would you stop saying, are we there yet? Oh, you want me to say what I say when you say, are we there yet? Then it'll be like we're going someplace. Okay. All right, so go ahead. Say, are we there yet? Yes, Rootbear, we're there yet. Yeah, sometimes I say, you'll know we're there when we stop the car and get out of the car. Never mind. I'm going to get to the story. But first, a funny face. Would you like to see a funny face from Rootbear? And then some cookies? Funny face and then some cookies? You didn't brush your teeth yet? Oh, right, you don't have teeth. I keep forgetting that. Okay, so you ready to do a funny face? All right, show them a funny face. Are you ready? That was a really funny face. Okay, I'm going to put you down and start the story so I don't run out of battery life here, okay? Are we there yet? So long, Rootbear. Everyone wave bye to Rootbear. Bye, Rootbear. Do the Rootbear wave. All right, sit right down here. And I am going to tell a story today about Little Red Riding Hood. No, not that story about Little Red Riding Hood. This is a different story about the same Little Red Riding Hood that you have heard the story about for all these years. You see, Little Red Riding Hood got in trouble one day when she was taking a basket of goodies to her grandma because she did not do what her mom told her. And she talked to strangers and she went off the path. And there's a word for that. It's one of my favorite words. It was a word that described me a lot when I was a little girl. Not so much now. Well, maybe. That word is recalcitrant. Can you say recalcitrant? It means you have trouble following orders and not always doing what you're told. Well, Little Red Riding Hood was quite recalcitrant. And it was a time when people needed to stay home by themselves. But Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother needed to have some goodies and some supplies delivered to her. Her grandmother was kind of stuck in her cottage. You know, like I'm stuck over here and my grandkids are far away. But anyway, Little Red Riding Hood's mama said, Little Red Riding Hood, I packed a basket of goodies for your grandmother. I do not want you to go through the forest. Do you remember the last time you went through the forest? And Little Red Riding Hood said, Oh, yes, I remember. It was not a pretty thing at all. No, said her mother, not a pretty thing at all. You stick to the path, you stay by the road, and you go along the way by the farm. Remember that way, Little Red Riding Hood? Oh, yes, I love to go by the farm. There's a big field there. Yes, said her mother, but let me warn you, do not step over that fence and go in that field. Because in that field, her mother warned, there is a big, fierce, ornery bull with super sharp horns on his head. And if you go in that field, that bull is going to come charging at you and poke you with those horns, and it will not be a pretty picture. Even worse than the incident with the wolf. Oh, I won't do that, said Little Red Riding Hood. I have learned my lesson. Good thing. Okay, so take these goodies to your grandmother. And Little Red Riding Hood said, thank you. And she tied her little Red Riding cape and put on her Little Red Riding Hood. And she walked out and she waved to her mother and blew her kisses. And she put some hand sanitizer on before she left. And off she went, walking down the road. And pretty soon she finds herself walking down the really boring road next to the farm. Because on one side, there is nothing but crops. And on the other side, there is nothing but a field of green grass. Nothing as far as you could see. It was just an empty field of green grass. Well, in the middle of the field, there was a big tree. Just one tree that had some shade. And this is where you would often find the bull hanging out in the shade, just kind of sharpening his horns on the tree or pawing the earth or something. And as she's going along, she's whistling to herself. She would sing little songs to herself. Oh, I'm going my way to grandmother's house, to grandmother's house, to grandmother's house. I'm going my way to grandmother's house. Oh, Little Red Riding Hood stopped in her tracks because she saw just on the other side of the fence where she could reach it, she saw the most beautiful clump of buttercups. Oh, said Little Red Riding Hood, if I bring grandmother these goodies and I bring her some buttercups, maybe she'll give me a butterscotch for my walk home. So she set her little basket down and she went over to the fence. And she did not climb the fence. She was listening to her mama. But first, she checked the whole field. From side to side and front to back, as far as she could see, there was no bull in that field. She said, he must be in the barn today. Okay, I'm going to just reach over this fence and pick some of those buttercups. So she reaches far across the fence and she can reach two of them, and she picks them. She puts them in her other hand, and then she leans a little more and she reaches further and strains, and she just wiggling her fingers, just can't quite reach the other ones. Oh, 2 flowers isn't even a bouquet, thought Little Red Riding Hood. Well, I don't see the bull. And if I just step just through the fence a little ways, I could stay super close to the fence. So if the bull comes out of the barn, it will give me plenty of time to run back and get over the fence before he can catch me. So I'm going to just go in a little bit. And she put her leg through the fence. And she tucked her body underneath. She held on and she swung through the fence. And she got butterflies in her stomach. And she stood there inside the bull's pasture. And she looked every which way. Still no bull. And she thought, jackpot, I'm going to go get those other buttercups. So she went over and she picked a few more buttercups and put them in and said, oh, it's such a beautiful bull. Oh my goodness. There were a couple of bluebells. Bluebells and buttercups make the best bouquet. Wait, she was about 3 feet from the fence. And the bluebells were just a little bit further, and she looked, and there was no bull. And she said, my lucky day. So she goes over, and she grabs a few of the bluebells, and she puts them in with the buttercups, and she arranges them so the colors kind of blend nicely, and just a beautiful flower bouquet. And she's ready to go back. Lady slippers? Oh my goodness, she said to herself, lady slippers are my grandma's favorite. But they were a little further still from the fence. But Little Red Riding Hood wasn't afraid. She was sure that bull was I lost you a minute, was inside his barn that day. So she tiptoed over to the lady slippers and picked a few lady slippers. And then she saw some more buttercups, and she went a little further. And then she saw some other flowers, little clovers, and oh, clovers just smell so good. So she went a little further, and she was picking, until all of a sudden she looks up, and she is closer to the tree than the fence. And suddenly she hears, and she froze with her little bouquet of flowers. And she did not want to turn around because it sounded very close. She slowly turned, and again she heard, and she looked, and there, almost close to her, was the biggest, meanest, fiercest looking bull she had ever seen, with these enormous horns sticking out of his head, and his head was down, and he had a mean look on his face, and he was pawing the earth, and he was going as if to say, what are you doing in my pasture? Oh no, said Little Red Riding Hood, I'll never make it back to the fence. That bull is gonna. She saw a branch, a low branch on the tree, and she thought, I'll get up in the tree. That's what I'll do. I'll just get up in the tree. So she tiptoes, and the bull started coming toward her. Closer, and she hit that tree, and she scampered up, and she grabbed a hold of that branch, and she climbed up as high as she could, and she was hanging on so as tight as she could to a branch just sticking out over the field. And that bull came up, boom, and boom, he hit that tree with his horns, and he sat back on his haunches and shook his head and looked around for her, and then he looked up and saw her. Oh dear, said Little Red Riding Hood, what am I gonna do? I'm stuck up here. And that bull turned around, and it started to walk away, and she thought, oh, please, go back to your barn. Please go back to your barn. But he didn't go back to his barn. Instead, he went about 20 yards away, and he turned back towards the tree, and he started to paw the earth. He shook those horns. Steam was coming out of his nose, he said, and boom, boom. And he was coming closer and faster, and Little Red Riding was going, help, and bam, he hit that tree, and the whole tree shook, and she almost fell out of the tree, and she was holding on now with one leg and one arm, and the flowers had just strewn everywhere, and she's just hanging on for dear life, and she's going, help me, someone please help me, where's a woodcutter when you need him? Oh, there is a deforest here, somebody please help me. And the bull looked up at her again, and he turned around, and this time he walked 30 yards away, faced that tree, and Little Red Riding Hood wrapped herself around that branch. There were splintering sounds already. It was terrifying. Oh my goodness. And she held on just as tight as she could, and that bull started toward her, shaking those horns, put his head down, and he ran, and she said, oh no, and bam, he hit that tree, and that branch shook so hard that she almost fell off completely, and she's dangling by her legs, and she wrapped her legs around and lifted her arm up and was holding on so tight, said, please, somebody save me, when all of a sudden a little bluebird flew by. Little Red Riding Hood, what are you doing in the bull's pasture? I was trying to get flowers for grandmother, and the bull wasn't out, and then the Little Red Riding Hood, you shouldn't be so recalcitrant. I know, I've learned my lesson for sure this time. Please, can you go get some help? That bull was walking back 40 yards away. Little Red Riding Hood saw him, and she said, "Oh, please, can you go get help? Who is there anyone you can go get help?" And the little bluebird says, "Well, I did see the chocolate soldiers not too far from here. I will go talk to the captain of the chocolate soldiers, and maybe they could come to rescue you." "Oh, please," said Little Red. "Hurry as fast as you can." "Very well," said the little bluebird. "Hold on tight." And flew off away. Meanwhile, the bull pawing the earth, scooping up some dust to try to hide himself, I think. I don't know why bulls do that. Why do you think bulls do that? Pawing the earth. And then he starts towards her slowly, faster, faster, full gallop, and Little Red Riding Hood is holding on, and the bull is coming closer and closer, and bam! He hit that tree again, and now it's leaning over, and Little Red Riding Hood is like, he's gonna knock the whole tree down. "Oh, please, little bird, go get some help." Now the little bluebird flew off down the road where she had seen a whole regiment of chocolate soldiers, and she could hear them in the distance. They sounded like this: biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, 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 biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, 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 biddy boom, biddy boom. And all of a sudden, the chocolate soldiers, the bluebird goes by the captain and says, "Captain, Little Red Riding Hood is in the field. You have to help her. Come and save her." And the captain says, "Company, halt! Forward, double time! Biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, boom, boom." While Little Red Riding Hood's in the tree, and the bull is now 60 yards away, and he starts towards her. And suddenly in the distance she hears biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, boom, boom. Can you say that with me? Biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, boom, boom. And the bull hit the tree. "Oh, save me!" And it got closer. Can you say it with me? Biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, boom, boom. A little louder. Biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, 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 biddy boom, biddy boom, biddy boom, boom, boom. She held on, and suddenly there was a whole regiment of chocolate soldiers just outside the fence. They took their guns down like this, filled the whatever that's called with a whole bunch of M&Ms and chocolate drops, and they said, "Ready, aim, fire!" And just as the bull was starting to run, he was pelted with all these chocolate drops, and he looked down and said, "Whoa, what's this? That's delicious." And he started licking up chocolate drops. "Ready, aim, fire!" said the captain of the chocolate soldiers. They shot more M&Ms and chocolate balls just a little bit further away, and the bull was following them away from Little Red Riding Hood. The captain of the chocolate soldiers jumped over the fence, ran and said, "Jump, Little Red Riding Hood!" And she did. Boom, right down into his arms. "Oh, thank you for saving me." And he said to her, guess what he said? "You need to stop being such a recalcitrant child." He carried her to the edge of the fence. Meanwhile, that bull, you will never believe what happened. All those chocolate drops and M&Ms had an amazing effect on him. No, it didn't make him squirrely, Mom and Dad. It sweetened his disposition. And after that, when Little Red Riding Hood would walk down the road, she always carried a little bag of M&Ms with her, and she would toss a few to the bull, and he'd just come and munch a few, and she could pick a few flowers if she wanted. They became very good friends. But that very day, when the chocolate soldier turned her loose and she went to Grandmother's house, she knocked at the door. "Grandmother, I brought you some goodies." And she was all sweaty and worn out from her ordeal with the bull. And her grandmother says, "Just leave them there, dear. I'm on Skype with my friends. We're having a dance party." And she listened, and inside the door she heard this. She peeked in the window, and there was her grandmother dancing with her friends on Skype. And that's the story of Little Red Riding Hood and the chocolate soldiers. I know it's a little short tonight, but I'm getting warnings that my phone is about to die. So next week, I will tell you some more stories. And until then, don't say "Are we there yet?" over and over again. If you have to say something over and over again, here's a good thing to say. Thank you. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for taking good care of me. Here's another good thing to say. I love you. I still love you. Of course, that could get annoying after a while. But I do. I love you, and I still love you. And I'll see you soon. And I'll see you next time. Do this with me. Ready? Biddy boom. Biddy boom. Biddy boom. 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 Biddy boom. Pat your lap. Biddy boom. Biddy boom. 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 Biddy boom. Biddy boom. Biddy boom. 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 Bye for now, friends. I'll see you next time.